Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Trishna Talks. So, today is World Food Day, and we have with us somebody who is an expert with food. She's a nutritionist, she's a food consultant, she's a weight management expert, she's an entrepreneur, and she's an internationally certified fitness coach. Please welcome Supriti Singh. Hello, Supriti.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good, Trishna. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Welcome on World Food Day to
Thank
talk
you.
about
To talk
nothing
about
else.
food.
Your expertise, yes. How have you been otherwise?
Been good. Lockdown's been tough for everybody, I think, but not bad.
So tell me, what about how did you come into this? What made you choose this profession, and what is all the stuff that goes
This
around
is
with weight loss?
actually, see, weight loss wasn't the initial plan, to be very honest. In my much younger days, I loved food so much that it stuck to me a lot and I needed to lose weight. So that's where the first ever
Okay,
Supriti Singh exercise program began. And I was an absolute beginner
okay,
and I had never exercised a day in my life. I'm actually a lot more of a reader and an artist, at least I was. So athletics, sport, nothing. I hadn't done anything physically active in school either. So it was quite a shock to my body. If I, and this is, I'm talking about nearly 30 years ago.
okay.
Um, the thing is, it's the love for food was so much. I still have that, by the way, and it steered me towards a career in food also. So I trained to be a chef. My whole aim was to be a chef and own my own restaurant. And however, the passion for healthy food became quite a it really was a passion. And we were talking about, see, now everywhere you look you've got specialized diet plans and people are sending meals home, and when you go to a restaurant you have a lower calorie, low fat, all kinds of dietary
Again,
options. Yeah, but
still
when
is
I
there.
was growing up, when I was in college, there was no such thing. So when
Hmm.
you ate a biryani, you ate a biryani. And I kept thinking, is there a way to make food that tastes good and that I enjoy also healthy?
Yes,
So it
yes.
was quite an obsession. I mean, I think I must have been the only one alive in my school and in my college who thought like that. Everybody else was like, okay, I have to either eat the fattening food or I have to eat ghas foos. There can be nothing in between.
Yeah,
So
I
all
was one. I was one of those actually. So
everybody.
when I was a kid, I used to fast on Fridays. Like literally when I was in the seventh or eighth standard, I gave up eating because I thought like I'm so fat and chubby, and I didn't eat food.
Yeah, that's the common thing. And it's so funny. Today I'm talking about my career in food starting in 1994 when I did my college.
Hmm.
And that's when I had gone in for my first catering college interview, and I had said that this is what I want to do. I want to create food that is delicious and is also healthy and people will enjoy it. And they all looked at me like I was crazy. Like, how can you do that? So
That
cut to
was never a concept, I think.
never a concept. And I keep joking with my husband and everybody that I'm like about 20 years ahead of my time. So if I just waited 20 years, I'd be like right there. But at that time, they literally were no takers. And I kept trying to explain this to people like, you can do this, you can do this. So now my whole life's journey has been about how do I encourage people to be healthy
Hmm.
and teach them that it is not an either or situation. We all
Right.
live in either or. Either I do 5 days a week crazy cardio or I don't work out at all. Either I
Hmm.
starve or I am fat. There's no in between. So
Yeah.
life is not about that. Life is about having balance in it. I drink sometimes. I eat dessert when I feel like it. But
Hmm.
obviously, that's not how you live your life. Those are special treats, and you keep it that way,
So
right?
what about people who just have like a dessert? Uh, like they will not call it a dessert. They will be like, "Oh, मैंने गुलाब जामुन बहुत दिनों के बाद खाए," but then yesterday they've had something else. So
I
which is
have I have some very
so
you
how?
I never say deprive yourself or don't eat it at all. Okay, see, obviously if you are on a particular kind of a goal, if you really have fitness in mind, if you're an athlete, athletes are not thinking about gulab jamuns. So
Yeah,
I'm not talking about athletes. I'm not talking about
that's a
people.
different category altogether. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not talking about people who get paid like crores and crores to do a movie. Then they definitely don't eat anything because they're paid to look that way. That's
Their
their
body
only.
investment.
Exactly, and not just investment. I think it becomes like it's a little it goes on the extreme end. So when you talk
Yeah.
about elite fitness, that's a very different thing. So when
Hmm.
people come to me and they, oh, so should I take a protein supplement and should I? I mean, you're not lifting for a championship. You're
Hmm.
living daily life, right?
Right.
You want to
Right.
have enough strength, energy to spend time with your friends and family. You want to be able to not be exhausted at the end of the day. You want to have the clarity of mind. If you're an entrepreneur like me, if I go off carbs completely, I get foggy, so I can't work. So
Yeah,
you
you
can't.
do need carbs to think.
Exactly. So you need to have a diet that is suited to you as an individual, not what
Hmm.
works for everybody else. So extremes, not necessary. I'm not going to say not shouldn't be done. You don't need that. And I've seen
So,
such phenomenal results from people once they realize that they don't need to box themselves in. They can still have meals with their friends. They can still have a drink out once in a while. And I see people just lose weight because they are no longer obsessing about it, which I
yeah.
think is the ideal place to be, isn't it?
I don't know whether I could call the word obsessing, but I had a food phobia once upon a time. Like I had a food phobia. So I'm like now touch with my relationship with food has changed. It's much better. But I'm just saying that. So what are the myths that, around weight loss that people come to you with?
Uh, they haven't changed much actually over the
Mm.
years. I have had, it's taken me a long time to reach a stage where somebody today, after 20 years, I've been in this business 22 years this year actually. And
Mm.
I get the same questions again and again. So, do I really need to exercise? Can't I just only diet? That's one example.
Okay.
Uh, What if I cut out this thing? In the 1990s, it was what if I stop eating dinner? Or what if I stop eating breakfast? Now it is what if I cut out carbs? Then see,
Yeah.
my friend, she cut out whatever, some XYZ things, and now she lost 15 kilos in 1 month. I'm like, how did that happen? And they
Let me
never
know.
keep it off. They never keep it off. Never, never, never. I'm telling you, and
Yeah.
I've seen, you and I have known each other a long time, Trishna. It's been a long journey, right? So you know
Yes.
that you yourself have been through ups and downs. I've been through ups and downs. You
Yes.
have,
It's a yo-yo. Like yeah, the
I don't
oscillation.
think life is a journey. It's not a destination. You want to
Okay.
have fun along the way. Also, you can't be going from torture to torture to torture. And that's what a
Mm.
lot of people do. Say, come to me and they say, and I always give them a diet, and I say, okay, it's fine if you. I don't say cheat day, but as if you really, really want to indulge, one, share it with somebody. Always
Mm.
share the guilt. If you're going to have dessert, make sure two other people also have the dessert. So you're having a little bit and not too much, and then everybody.
People with you.
You don't feel all by yourself doing the crime. You've got friends also.
Mm.
So always
Okay.
with a necessary. That's
Yeah,
one.
I keep this in mind now. Good
Yeah,
tip.
always share an ice cream or a cheesecake or a dessert. Share it. Or
Okay.
if you're alone, this is a very serious tip. We go to a restaurant and we actually feel bad asking for takeaway. Cut it
Hmm.
in half. Say, "Ye bhaiya, mujhe pack karke de do." Now that restaurants have reopened in Maharashtra also, this is a good
Hmm.
tip. Always take it home, eat it over 2 meals, or share it with a loved one later.
Good idea.
You
That's a
don't
very
have
good
to. Portions are
finish
very.
it. Yeah, yeah.
So it comes to you and you're like, I must eat it because I don't want to waste it. But then why? You're not a garbage
Hmm.
can, right? So,
Hmm.
those are a few very basic tips, and people are surprised to see that you can eat out once in a while, and also continue to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I'm not going to say drastic weight loss; that's a very different kind of a plan. But people tend to swing between these things. So they want drastic weight loss 1 week, and then it's so tough on the body that then they swing to the opposite extreme, and then so that is a yo-yo. What you were talking about,
Yeah, yeah.
that's not good. So
Yeah.
yeah. So after being in this field for as long as I've been, I've seen some general the general idea is that there is a shortcut to getting fit. I'm sorry to break that myth, guys. There isn't. It is. I always compare health to money. You can't get rich overnight. I have not met anybody who's actually won a lottery. I don't know if you have. Everybody we know who is wealthy has worked, ounce by
Way up.
ounce,
Way
penny
up.
by penny, put the money aside, understood what they're doing very well. People who get rich understand money. They start
Right.
working with it, they read about it, they educate themselves. Here we
Hmm.
say, "Ki, here I am, wave a magic wand and fix me." Anybody
Hmm.
who's tried that with money knows that they make losses. So it's
Right.
exactly the same. There is no difference. So if you invest a little bit every day, you will show results and your entire
The
life
lifestyle
is different.
change. It's more like a
Absolutely.
lifestyle.
It's not a temporary fix, it's not a torture. It just becomes how you live your life.
So normally when I used to call it a cheat day once upon a time, and I've shifted it to, I call it now treat day. So whenever I eat something,
Every day.
it's like I call it a treat day. So it's like it's how you just change into a positive thing from a negative thing, and make. I mean,
Food
even
is
if you're,
not the enemy, we make food into the enemy.
why should my body think that I'm cheating it with something? So I treat it with something. So it's just fun.
And look, it is wired into our DNA. We love food. Food makes us feel good. Indians
Yeah.
especially. We
Yes.
celebrate with food. We mourn with food. We do everything. Everything is around food and music
Around
and
food, yeah,
dance.
yeah,
Our
yeah. Any
culture.
party you go to, any function that happens, if food is not good, it didn't go well. So everything's
And
all
it's
about
still
food.
okay. People will still be okay without alcohol, but not
Yeah,
without food. So
yeah,
we can't cut it out of our lives like, it's just okay, we do without it. It can't happen. So
yeah.
my advice always to people is make friends with your food. Understand what suits your body, what works for you, what doesn't, what makes you see, weight gain is just one aspect. What
Hmm.
makes you uncomfortable, what gives you indigestion, what gives you
Yeah.
allergies, what doesn't suit your skin. That's why I
Hmm.
said, educate yourself, learn about your relationship. Your relationship with food should be a friendship.
Right,
Again, just
right.
like money. So if you work together,
Hmm.
you and it is different for every single person. So
True.
that's what I do. So my job is not to give weight loss diets. My job
Hmm.
is to look at you, sit with you across the table, and say, okay, this is the kind of stuff that works for you,
Right,
which is not going to work for your neighbor or even your kid or even
right.
your spouse. It's yours.
Oh,
So it is
yeah.
your lifestyle and it works for you. Now, how do we fit that lifestyle in so that it kind of integrates with everything around you? Because you
Yes.
also want to go out, you also want to cook for your family. You're not an isolated soul. So
Hmm.
that's what makes, I think, what I do so special and so different, because I don't chapo generic diets to anybody. There's no generic
Okay.
anything. Everything is customized. And yes, to an extent, you can do generic stuff and say everybody's liver kind of behaves the same. So you can do a liver cleanse for everyone. But
Right.
each person for a lifestyle plan is 100% unique.
So, a very interesting thing that I would like to ask you right now actually is that what about keto? How is it a fad or is it effective? Of late, we've just had a model who something went wrong with her, and yeah, and she just passed on because of something didn't work with her, and she was on keto. And this is a very important piece of information that we'd like to give people through you. So, what do you think about keto?
Um, okay, I'll go into a little background if it's okay.
Yeah.
Ketogenic diets were, what is ketosis basically? Ketosis means that your body is starving. That's it.
Okay.
So in
Okay.
the old nutrition textbooks, before we had such a thing as a ketogenic diet, that's the
Yeah.
thing you want to avoid. You don't want your body to go into ketosis. If you find ketones in the blood, that
Yeah.
means that your body is in starvation mode. What does that mean? That means your body has burnt all the carbs it has. It has burnt
Okay.
all the carbs available in your muscle, and now it is using your fat stores, not for
So,
energy as in exercise, but to
okay.
survive.
Okay.
So that is when you start worrying. So when people are malnourished, they
Yeah.
have ketones in their blood system, and that's not a good sign. Okay. Now, why
So,
is it not a good sign? Because
hmm.
ketones are a poisonous element that your body generates, which your kidneys then have to cleanse.
Okay.
If you're with me, if I'm talking too fast, you can stop me
No,
and
no, no.
ask
Yeah, I'm just getting the yeah
the
the
science
visual
behind it.
behind it. Yeah.
So what people have, I'm guessing, turned into. So then what happened was that over a period of time, they discovered that this particular kind of diet, where you cut out carbs altogether, is very
Hmm.
helpful for children with epilepsy.
Okay.
I don't know why that is. It's a neurological study, and I've not gotten into the depths of it. But they
Okay.
designed this kind of a diet for children with epilepsy, and because of the high fat content, it
Okay.
reduced the amount of seizures they got. Alongside
Oh,
that, they also lost weight.
okay.
So somebody jumped onto the bandwagon and said, look, keto makes you lose weight.
And then it became like a
It becomes,
no.
it's the next thing. Like I
Hmm.
said, if you're in this business as long as I've been, you've seen all kinds of stuff. Oh, eat
Right.
only fruit, you'll lose weight. Eat only carbs, you'll lose weight. Eat only cabbage, you'll lose weight. Eat only eggs, obviously you'll lose weight. Because if you're a person, let me give you a for instance. I am a person who lives on carbs. We are Indians, so we do mainly. Okay, पराठे खाते हैं, rice खाते हैं. कभी weekend पे बाहर गए तो pizza खाना हो जाता है. Something like that's all starch based. You come
Hmm.
along and you tell me you can't have carbs at all.
Okay.
So that basically cuts out 60% of what I can eat.
Yeah, I've known people who've been on just a watermelon for a week and they've lost weight, and then I don't know what happens.
But obviously, because if maximum nutrition is coming from something and you don't eat it,
Yeah.
those calories are coming out. Okay, now
Yeah.
it's like throwing the baby out of the bathwater, as they say. So you're removing the extra calories, but you're also removing the important stuff. So
Right.
now, what is there is a thing that carbohydrates does to your body that's called in again nutrition lingo. It's called
Okay.
protein sparing. So protein builds muscle, builds tissue, takes
Hmm.
care of the health of your organs, takes care of recovery if you are tired,
Hmm.
exhausted.
Hmm.
Muscle mass is important, right? We all know that as we get older.
Yes. Yes.
So, and the more muscle mass you have, think of this carefully. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest. The
Right.
less muscles you have, your BMR drops and your calories burning intensity reduces. So even if you've lost weight on the scale, for example, if you have less
Yes.
muscle and more
Yes.
fat, that's not a good thing.
Right.
So carbohydrates do a protein sparing activity, which means that I can burn carbs for fuel.
Hmm.
So I don't need to burn muscle. That's the logic we use. Now, what
Okay.
carbs, what quality of carbs is a different story altogether. That's probably a discussion for another interview, where you talk about, whether you do whole wheat versus maida, and are you gluten intolerant, and those are all
Yeah.
micromanaging.
Yeah. Those like yeah.
But the carbohydrates have a very important function, which is to spare protein for its other work.
Hmm.
If I cut out carbs, the biggest
Yeah.
myth, this is something I'm going to crack now, and people are going to maro jutas, but is that if you cut carbs, your body automatically burns fat. It
Hmm.
doesn't. It burns
Hmm.
muscle first. Let me give
Oh,
you an
good.
example. If you
Okay.
have if you have cash always
Hmm.
in hand, you never actually need to go to an ATM and take out money. Okay?
Right.
Your
Right.
cash is your carbohydrates. Easy
Oh.
spending. It's what your body finds easiest to spend for energy. Cash खत्म हो जाएगा आप क्या करोगे आप FD नहीं break करोगे.
Hmm.
First you'll take out money from the ATM machine. So your
Right.
protein for your muscle is ATM. Takes a little effort to burn, but your body will burn that first. When that resource is completely exhausted, then you'll start breaking FDs and mutual funds.
Right. That's fat.
That's fat. So it's the hardest to, and that's why we talk about aerobic exercise. Fat is burned in the presence of some sort of aerobic activity. So you can
Okay.
spare carbohydrates, spare protein,
Hmm.
and then burn fat while you're exercising. But when you're on keto, you have no energy to exercise. Trust me. So वो भी रह जाता है.
But fat, though, they feed you in keto, na? They feed you protein and fat only.
But where will that go in storage?
So, but when they feed you these two things, so why don't you have energy to work out? Like I need to
Same
understand
reason.
that.
Same reason, because the easiest to burn is still carbs, and you don't have them.
Okay,
See, we are
okay,
still prehistoric creatures. Our body is designed to store fat.
right,
We are wired
right.
that way. What
That's
happened
a
over
good instinct that Darwin theory will work everywhere.
That's
So
exactly. So our genetic code is that you don't burn energy. That's the conspiracy against us. But we also have a lot less activity than we did,
hmm.
than our ancestors did.
Yes,
So we
yes,
sit around a
absolutely.
lot. So how
Yeah.
many calories are you actually burning? So having fat is one thing I don't know. Now another 20 years from now, there'll be studies saying that because people went keto and ate a lot of saturated fat, then they had heart trouble. I don't. It remains to be
We don't
seen.
know.
We
Yes,
don't know.
we are.
We are a walking
But
experiment always for these people. I say.
definitely there's a lot of pressure on the kidneys, I feel, because you're totally having
Really?
protein and fat. So that is one thing that people need to understand.
Kidneys, because of the amount of ketones that you produce when you are on an extremely low carb diet,
Hmm.
your kidneys get very overloaded. So a lot of young people, like this
Hmm.
girl, unfortunately, who passed away, was
Dear.
going to
Yeah. Yeah.
went through a renal failure
Yeah,
because
exactly.
your kidney is being overloaded. So it's something, it's like it's when your goal becomes losing weight on the scale anyhow, that's
Hmm.
when things get messed up.
Extreme. You go into an extreme mode.
Extreme, and when you're always looking for some kind of a shortcut, there isn't one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And
Sensible.
we come to that also. I do want to ask about that, but right now, just like more interested in the whole the keto concept base because a lot of people have lost weight. So I was wondering, how do you lose weight? And actually, is there a particular age group that can do ketosis or should not?
Okay,
Or
so losing weight will happen. I'll tell you why though, because but we don't know if that weight loss is water, if it is muscle, or if it is fat.
fact, yeah, yeah,
We want to lose fat. We don't want to lose muscle.
right,
Especially, see, where who gets into the keto trap? Women in
yeah.
their late 30s and 40s who
Hmm.
feel that their weight loss is slowing down, which
Yeah,
happens naturally with age. Okay,
yeah,
because the BMR does slow down as we get older.
exactly.
But if you're going to do something that causes you to have even less muscle and is not sustainable, because for how long can you not eat carbs? No?
So when, okay, one sec, wait, hold here. So when you actually start eating carbs, what you have done is you've lost your muscle, which actually helps you to burn fat.
Yeah.
And now, because you've started eating carbs, you're going to reverse your weight loss process. You make it even smaller, even short, slower, is what you're trying to say. Ah, now
Which is
there we
why people who've been yo-yo dieting their entire lives come and
go.
they'll ask you that I've done everything. I'm exercising 2 hours a day and I'm not losing any weight. This is why. Because your body has decided, boss, I don't know what it's going to do next. I'm holding on to the fat.
So I want to like there's a confession. Actually, I did it for 5 days, and on
Hmm.
day five, I met my dad, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Why?" He's like, "Your face is looking so puffed up, and what have you been doing? There's something not right with you." So I said, "Yeah, Dad. Even I was feeling I'm doing this only fat and protein thing. It's called keto. Like for me, it didn't work. So
That's the kidneys. That's the
yeah.
kidneys. And
My
that's a
dad
bad.
was like, something's not working with you. And I said, I was feeling it too. I'm glad somebody noticed it on the outside also and said the same thing. It was like a validation I got. And I'm like, okay, I'm stopping this
But
completely.
there are versions. See, keto is a great term. Okay, I don't recommend keto because I find it, like I said, it basically starvation. But
Hmm.
there are versions called primal and paleo, which are okay. You get to
Okay.
eat some carbs. You cut back on the
So,
carbs a lot.
so there are like, these are the like,
These are
for the
degrees.
supporters of keto and the advocates of keto. Would you
I'll
like this
explain this a
supporting?
little bit. Supporters of no keto. Sorry, I didn't get your question. Repeat.
So, somebody who is wanting to do keto or has lost weight or believes that keto is helpful for them may not have worked for somebody else. Uh, I mean, is this your way of, okay, these are baby steps and you can get there, or how?
No, 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 no. Look, first of all, I don't recommend anybody ever do keto. That
Okay,
much I will be absolutely clear about. It is not a good place to be in. Uh, and another thing is people who think they're doing keto are not doing it.
okay.
Trust me, they're not. And in India, it is practically impossible because our meat, especially for a vegetarian,
I
people
was
who
about to ask, how do vegetarians manage
they
this?
don't,
Okay,
because even chicken breast has fat in it. Has I'm sorry, has carbs in it. So how
okay.
many carbs? If you're counting carbs, you're not just only saying कि अच्छा मैं रोटी बंद कर दूंगी. When you do
Huh.
keto, you can,
Our pulses have carbs.
exactly. So it's
Yeah.
very hard to do. So you're thinking you're doing keto, so you're adding fat, to your diet. You're
Hmm.
removing the rotis and the rice, but the calorie content has gone up, no? So
Yeah.
initially you lose weight because your body is shocked into something, and then boom. So
Oh,
the
so when you put
before and
on,
after, and the after is awful because you bloat like anything. And it has happened. If you speak to somebody, they will all come back and tell you, yeah, so that it didn't work for me. Yeah, so I stopped losing weight after a point. That I couldn't make it through the day. I was feeling too sick. And
right,
believe me, I've tried it because I will not recommend anything to anybody without trying it first. So about three
correct.
years ago, when the fad was at its peak, and they have actual scientific journals and methodologies, I tried it.
Hmm.
I felt damn good for 1 week because I
Huh.
was eating all the fat in the world. I didn't
Hmm.
really lose any weight, to be honest. But I tried it. I said, this can't be for real. And no major weight loss happened. Nothing. It was, it was okay. I must have lost maybe a kilo, not too much.
I
And
have
then
a friend. She'll order these lots of eggs with cheese, and then she'll top it up with butter and then eat it like. And I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, okay, this was a meal for a week for me.
look, yeah. And we don't know what's happening inside our bodies. Most times, if you have a cholesterol issue, if you have a kidney issue, underlying, this could just
Yeah,
explode. And why would you want that? So my
right.
advice to people is very, very simple. Look, it's as easy as this. Okay, I'm giving away my secret right now. Okay, all you
Thank
need
you.
to do is look
Thank
at
you.
your hand. Okay, look at your hand. This much has to be your protein every meal. This much is your protein. This
Hmm.
much is vegetable, raw,
Vegetable.
steamed, however you want it, with very little oil. No fat in there. This is not like what is that? Half ghee and half vegetable. Okay,
Huh.
so this is actual veggies.
And
This
keto asks you to stop vegetables, which is like the I'm
you
like,
have to, because vegetables are all carbs.
yeah,
Don't even get me started. This much only is your starch.
okay.
This
So
much
that's
gap.
rice or and all those
Now,
things.
starch may preferably not maida, preferably
Huh.
whole grain, millets, jawar, atta bhi chalega, rotis are fine, whole wheat is good if it suits you. And this thumb size,
Hmm.
just the tip of my thumb, is your fat.
Okay, for the day
No, for one meal.
or for the meal. Okay.
Now, depending on your calorie intake, if you're a person who's extremely active, I'm talking like 2 hours of a workout, you need four of these. If you're a
Four of
person, yeah, kind of sedentary, you can do
hmm.
three of these. Your breakfast should be in this proportion, your
Hmm.
lunch, and your dinner. You will
Okay.
never gain weight ever if you eat like this. You get all
Okay.
your macros, you're getting all the vitamins you need. You may
Food.
need some supplementation if individually you have some issue.
Okay.
You get everything. But the thing is, what's important here, see, one very important thing that keto misses out on. They don't talk about quality. Just because I have a cauliflower au gratin with white sauce and peas,
Hmm.
how is that a nutritious meal? You've removed all the carbs. Okay.
Yeah.
But how is that
Cauliflower.
nutritious? And a lot of cheese because it's keto, so the quantity of cauliflower has to be less and cheese has
Yeah.
to be more. It doesn't make any sense, honestly, and it doesn't show. It will show results. Anything will show results. If I tell you, for example, from tomorrow you can't eat red food.
I will want to go and first
Yeah,
thing.
one, you will want to eat red food.
Yeah.
Number two, it suddenly cuts out so many things. You can't have ketchup. If you can't have ketchup, you can't have fries. If anything has a tomato, you can't have it. Makhnis, you can't have. Tandoori, your brain gets boggled.
Carrots,
But
carrots, beetroot. You can't have any of these.
but suddenly the amount of things you can eat has shrunk.
Yeah.
So you lose weight. It's simple as that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
anything I decide, I can wake up one morning and say, oh, from now on, you can no longer eat white food. White food, in fact, if you cut out of your diet, you'll be a lot better off. Everybody should try that. Anything white, cut it out, and you'll see a difference. So it's just that. It's just restrictive. Anything will make you lose weight because you suddenly have to change what you're doing regularly.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is my personal take on it. Maybe the our Indian food, which was always a balanced diet without all the fast food and all. Before that, all that came into the picture. I think this is one of the best ways of of balancing our food, and our meals were always had protein, carbs,
Always,
right
always.
amount of fat, the right amount of everything. And everything has a reason why they are paired with something, so that
Exactly.
the digestive
Exactly.
system works better. And like I think the whole old stuff what our grandmothers have taught us, I think that if everybody manages, I think that.
To an extent, because
But
our grandmothers were a lot more physically active. They were a
yeah,
lot more
they
sedentary.
used to have a lot more ghee and all that. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we
They
have
used
to
to have
factor that in कि हमारा समझो like we for example maybe eating just 2 meals a day might be valid for us because we
correct,
really eat too much, especially in the lockdown.
right,
So there is no calories being spent,
spend.
So probably, but then that's a temporary fix, and you have to have it as per your requirements. That's why I say don't self-medicate. You would go to a doctor if you have an actual issue, right? So
Right.
the qualified nutritionist to help you.
Hmm.
Then if you have no other health issues and it's a long term plan, then you can stick to that. Okay, I've discovered what
Correct.
suits me and I'm sticking to it until
Correct.
something changes.
Right. Right.
But if you just try some stuff because it came on the net, then it backfires quite badly.
Hmm.
So
So
yeah.
what about a person who's going through a keto diet, and what is their mental well-being like? Would you
I,
have you
you
seen
know,
any?
I carbs are happy food, yeah. If you take the carbs out, what's left?
Tell me about it.
It's an actual thing. Your carbs, see, fats also balance hormones. So cutting
Hmm.
out fat is equally pathetic. But which is why you need your macros. The people who go off carbs, I'll say something specially because my expertise lies in hormonal disturbances. So I have a lot of clients who have PCOD who have been told that keto is perfect for PCOS and PCOD.
Hmm.
Now, if you have insulin resistance, yes, you need to cut back on your carbs and your sugar and your whatever, whatever. You
Yeah.
cut back on them. You don't eliminate them. PCOD is very firmly linked with happy hormones. The moment
Right.
your cortisol levels go up, all the other PCOD issues start to increase also. So you
Correct.
put a person out of carbs and they feel miserable. I'm not even like it's not oh get over it miserable. It's really miserable. People
So
have
that
depression,
the mental
anxiety.
well-being goes for a toss. And
It
we,
does.
how many of us actually get our hormones tested before going on a diet? We don't.
We don't. And
Yeah.
it's actually we have learned to see. I'll tell you what. Every person, and the sad thing is that I'm not finishing any sentences. Sorry. The sad thing is that people are having hormonal disturbances a lot younger. You have
Yes.
young girls, 15, 16-year-olds who are complaining of PCOS. Like I just
Yes.
put out a request for people to reach out to me if they're suffering from PCOD. And I thought I would have women in their 30s, maybe,
Hmm.
talking to
Hmm.
because they have fertility issues or whatever.
Yeah.
16, 17, 20, 21, stressed out, overweight, and don't know what to do with themselves because doctor ne bola hai ki wazan kam karo. That's it.
But it's a lifestyle issue also, na, Supriti?
It's many things.
PCOS.
Now it's many things. It's lifestyle. It's
Yeah.
actually a lot of additives, pollutants in the air,
Hmm.
hormones in our dairy that these children have been having. I'll call them children now since
Yeah.
they were young. So I first have
Yes,
to crack
everything that
teach
are there
them.
in the food. Yeah.
But keto doesn't work on them. It'll work for 2 3 days,
Hmm.
but after that they just start to feel really miserable, and it's you don't want to make the journey unpleasant.
So even if like somebody is adamant and wants to follow ketosis, is there a precaution that you would ask them to take? Or I mean, I know you just said keto is a no-no, but
Trained
but
individual have you wouldn't, like I said, if you don't know how to drive, you're not going to take somebody's Ferrari out, are you? Your body is your Ferrari, and if you're not trained,
hmm,
don't do nonsense things. Make sure that you're with a person who can guide you correctly and who can monitor. So if you are going
right,
to go on any diet plan, first of all, I hope that you're not blanket adjusting keto to yourself. Go
right,
to somebody who can guide you with it. And I'm going to say this, and again, I'm going to get shoes, but people think that once they have lost weight, it qualifies them to train other people to lose weight. And
hmm,
that is the most dangerous thing. I'm not even going to go into the area of fitness. Physical fitness is, aside from causing an injury, which is also bad, uh, that's still okay. But don't mess with people's diet, guys, please. If you have learned, if keto has worked for you, by all means, put a blog on it. Yeah, put out a blog, put a disclaimer. I am not a qualified nutritionist. Don't say, I will now help you to lose weight with keto because I did it. Please. And I advise everybody who's considering this plan to please fine tune and check who you're working with, whether they're qualified to help you in case, stuff hits the fan. You need to have backup. It's not a, it, don't play with, it's dangerous. It really, really
right,
is. I
right,
don't mind people saying I'll cut out a meal. Fine, don't eat dinner, have a soup. That's okay. But keto is
yeah.
dangerous to your system. So have someone qualified and trained who can help you in case and be with
In
you
case
step by
they
step.
cannot, yeah, in case they just know that something's off balance, they know how to
Like Trishna, you for
recover.
example, if you were my client and you had said मुझे keto करना ही करना, and I started to see that edema on your face, I'd be
Yeah,
qualified to say that this isn't working for you. Stop.
right. Right.
But somebody else might not understand the science. They
No,
just
I
say, oh,
understood myself actually. Within 5 days, I understood it myself, and I could see the that something's not right. I was not happy with what I was doing. Something was not okay with my
it doesn't
body.
feel good. It doesn't
Yeah,
feel good at
actually,
all.
I'm a person who does not like non-veg, so I was like forcing myself to eat something. I'm like a vegetarian actually by choice. So I'm like, I have to day in and day out eat this. This doesn't go with my system, and I was not happy.
It's the same with any extreme that you go. If you are a vegetarian by choice, there are people who are vegan by choice. Okay,
Yeah,
what troubles me is one, people who turn vegan thinking that it'll help them lose weight. So the
yeah,
exact same rules that apply to keto apply to vegan. If you suddenly stop eating something, you will lose weight, whether you like it or not, because you're just adjusting to that ban.
new, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can't eat half the things that you normally would have eaten. The वजन तो कम होगा ही होगा.
Correct,
Okay. And
correct.
again, the same thing applies, that there are deficiencies associated with being vegetarian, with being vegan, which if
Hmm.
you have a certain kind of a lifestyle, like I have friends who want to turn vegan, but who are actually like gym nuts. So
Huh.
their diet doesn't support that kind of activity. So if they want the results, they have to eat the protein. And the best
Right.
quality protein, however much you may want to pretend otherwise, is still non-vegetarian. Eggs and
Hmm.
chicken, fish also, is the best quality protein. Your body absorbs it quickest, and the
Hmm.
results are best. So if your focus is on results, then you can't have two conflicting goals. But if you want
Right.
to be, if your focus is, I don't know what the reasons may be. Maybe it's a hormonal thing. Maybe it's a health thing. Maybe it's a uh, environmental thing. Whatever your reasons are, if it's a conviction, then don't expect it to make you lose weight, and it will have consequences. Just be aware of that.
Right. Right. So what do you think about exercise? Like when on a diet or not on a diet, like
Do
why
it.
how what
Do it. Do it. Do it. Don't ask me this question. Do it. Everybody. Suppose you have to lose 10 kilos. Okay.
Mhm.
No, you can't. Of course, you can't. Like they say, you can't outrun your fork. So you can't eat crap and then exercise and expect to. It's a slow process. So it takes
Yeah.
like 250. You burn 250 calories with a 1 hour treadmill workout. So it's not a
Right.
lot of stuff. You're thinking about losing like 10 kilos. It's going to take you 3 to 5 months.
Hmm.
Let's put that in. But you cannot get the results in your body that you will get from a 5 minute workout, that you will get from dieting. You feel amazing, and exercise has ridiculous benefits. Like,
Yes.
इतना सस्ते में इतना सब कुछ मिलता है, I tell you.
The happy hormones, like you said, it just secretes those
You just
and yeah.
feel good. And I
Yeah.
had this quote. I love to quote this. This is Madonna's quote. And she used to get up at 4:30 in the morning and work out.
Okay.
And they used to be like, why do you need to get up at 4? I mean, she can work out anytime she wants, right? I mean, it's her business. And she says, look, I start my day with my workout. So I know that if the rest of the day goes to shit, I've gotten this done. So start your day with what is,
Your boss.
it's a tick and it's yours. See, it's whatever you want. Like if you want to do a plank, do it. You want to do crunches, just anything.
Hmm.
Just start. I have a 10-minute workout I have given to people. I'm not kidding you. It is so easy to do. And it's what I call idiot proof. Anyone can do it. You can't mess it up.
I like the name
You
idiot.
don't need any equipment, you don't need nothing. So all the excuses are out of the window. And then people will come and tell you, I don't feel like doing. I said, okay, wear your shoes, take out your mat, and go and stand on it. That's your workout for the day. Utna to kar sakte ho, but once you're standing there with your shoes, you feel like a fool, na? So you'll do 10 minutes. It's as simple as that.
So
So
you've got an idiot proof and you've got a fool proof.
absolutely. So you have to be, see, your head is going to mess with you. Nobody loves exercise, yeah. Nobody loves
Oh,
to say, let's go and
I
get on.
love it. No, I do. I
See,
do.
you must have been doing it for a while, na? But a person who's a
Probably
right
since I was like I was a kid. Yeah,
yeah.
I've been
So,
I've
like
been
other
like
people,
work like you
when
tell
I
me.
started, I'm absolutely, I did nothing physical. So the
In
first time I
fact,
ever exercised,
I met you during the aerobic class, right? At
that
Terence.
was that was after I had been working out for a good 10 years,
Yeah, yeah,
and
me too. Me too.
it became the first time I did it though. I was coming up with all kinds of excuses to just avoid it somehow. Me yaar aaj nahi, me yaar kal nahi. You need support. You need a support system. You need a friend who said, "Chal, let's go for a walk." So we used to just go and gossip and walk around the place. Anything you can do, please
Yeah.
do it. So that is, you know what? We need to build muscle.
Hmm.
All seriousness. We need to not lose muscle. We need to keep our bones strong, especially as we get older.
Yes.
Depression is so prevalent right now.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
am not claiming to be a mental health expert, but I will say this, that we consume a lot of media, and a lot of it is not happy media. We don't feel good after we see it. Trust me. Very few programs are like this one where someone will come in and go away feeling a little bit inspired and a little bit motivated. Most stuff is pretty depressing, and Netflix and everything you watch has become darker and darker.
Right.
You don't watch sitcoms as much anymore. Things have become dark. So
Right.
instead of spending time doing that, if you went out for a 10-minute walk, just experience it.
Yeah.
You will come back feeling better. Nobody has ever come back from a walk and said, I feel like crap now.
No, I'm a big advocate for nature trails. So I tell
Yes.
people that, go outside, go into the nature, hear the birds chirp, look at the trees, like just do these kind of activities because there's so much to observe, love, and like enjoy.
You
And
you have to be, look for things. It's not an expensive thing to do. It is the cheapest hobby you could ever have.
exactly.
You just need, if you don't have an outdoor to go to because the weather is sucky or something like that, you can find something to go on YouTube and do that instead. 10
Right.
minutes
Like in
meditation,
the
10
matter
minutes
or something. Yeah, people, yeah, they can
anything.
just.
Just, I always tell people that just get moving, choose anything. And anybody comes and says, you know what, I'm only doing 10 minutes a day. I'm like, good for you, because you're
Start.
doing something. There
Yes,
are
just
people who are doing nothing, who sit up till 3 o'clock in the morning binge watching shows, you know. So just get started. That's my advice to everybody. Don't go wild. You don't have to do 3 hour workouts. You don't have to lift big weights. You don't need a gym. You just need to get moving.
right. So, what are the three things that first-time dieters need to know according to you? At least
You
to
mean,
begin.
okay, first time the first time somebody is really like stepping out to lose weight, you mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, one, portion control that I talked about.
yeah.
That is your first. Take your plate, make it like that, and eat it, and then walk away from the table. The
Okay.
best exercise is pushing away from the table.
Hmm.
No second helpings, and lots of water. That's your
I
ha. That's the first exercise. First, you start with that. Push ups. Okay. Secondly, incorporate some kind of exercise. Do not fall for that stuff which tells you that you do not need to exercise. Choose what you like. Do something. Get moving. It is going to be. It is. It feels so good, and your body understands that you are making a change.
right.
Okay. Now, and the third most important thing, and this is my love. Okay, my passion. People
Hmm.
do not understand how many tricks your mind plays on you when you're trying to do this. It's
Constant internal chatter.
constant chatter, constant negativity, constant criticism. Look, you are overweight or underweight or unwell in some way because your body is out of balance. You
Correct.
must understand what caused that imbalance. And 99% of the time, it is not your diet or your exercise, it is what's going on inside your head. So if you can overcome that, that's what I do. My job is not, I do to deal with the food and the diet and the exercise, but I will sit with a person and make sure that their belief system is rewired.
Right.
We had one client, I tell you, whose entire life, and this is a powerful thing, huh? Her life revolves around all or nothing and perfectionism. So when things are not perfect, she quits. She quits altogether. And this is, I'm not talking about her diet. I'm talking about, it's a pattern through every area of her life. But we didn't talk about that when we spoke to her. And I know that this is what it is. So she comes to me and she says, you know what? Like we have a 10-day program. So she goes to day 3 and she says, oh, today I cheated. So now today I must start from 1 again. I said, why? So she never goes to level 2. She's always back at like those SAP CD.
The loop. Yeah, she's in the loop of that. You
I will
know,
start and I will do it perfectly and I will never get that perfect. So then I will start again. So she's never feeling any success or accomplishment for the little stuff that she's done.
it's
So I said,
very well known as self-sabotaging.
exactly. And it is so prevalent. Or I'll start on Monday. Everybody wants to start on Monday. I don't know why.
The Monday and what Monday that is not claimed. What year and what Monday is
I
not
don't know
claimed.
what that Monday thing is, but it's a
One
thing. So वो हमारे वो क्या बोलते हैं वो स्कूल से डाला हुआ है ना, everything new starts on a Monday, so we do things on Monday. And then Saturday, Sunday is like I'm going to eat everything because I'm starting on Monday. And then that Monday never comes. So anyway, let's not
So
talk
you
about
put on
it.
like 2-3 kilos during the weekend, and then
Ah, then properly you can start. So you've got substance to start. So this happened twice, okay? And I was observing this pattern. I said, okay, now the third time. This is your thing. Day 3, you quit. You don't start from zero. You take today as a break, and tomorrow's day 4.
right.
But yesterday wasn't good. I said, okay. So you mark it up as not good. And you start at day 4. You are going to complete the 10 days now. So I want you to be a completionist and not a perfectionist.
Right.
So she goes, wow. But you know what that did? That didn't just affect her body and her weight. She actually finished that sugar detox process we were going through at the time. She finished it. It affected 3 other things in her life which she was working on, which was stuck because she kept restarting them, hoping to be
Yes.
perfect this time around. Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. So
I'm
what? So
getting, it's like,
it's not about it's see the life pattern that has changed because of this one decision. So if you have made a
yeah,
decision to change your body, change it, because it will not just affect your body, it will affect something else in life. And even more powerful, someone is watching you.
hmm,
Your kids are watching you, your spouse is watching you, your parents are watching you. They start
right,
taking your health seriously.
right.
And you're making changes in people without having to even tell them. Like I'm talking to you right now, you have
Yeah,
heard something, you're going to go and change some behavior of your own because of what
right.
I say. And then somebody is watching without having to tell them. See the
Yeah,
way
our
they see
viewers
it.
are going to learn so much. So there's something that they can incorporate in their life. There's something that they can. The mindset has to be changed. There's so much to
And
do.
it's the obvious layer is just obvious. Like I had a client, I think I was telling you about it, who told me that my I only want to dance. She was very overweight. And she had
Right,
put on, she was very passionate about dance, like I used to be at one time. And she said, I miss dancing. And she said, every Navratri comes, I want to dance and I can't dance and I feel really bad. I said,
right.
okay, let's work on that. So she lost some 11 kilos in these 2-3 months. And she had some kind of knee issue and a back issue. So I said, you must start going to the gym.
Hmm.
Access hai. Thoda exercise, strengthen your joints. She
Right.
danced at Navratri. I'm telling you, she was crying while she was dancing.
That's so
And
amazing. You know.
I understand how freeing it is when someone wants to dance and they cannot. And I
Yeah,
again I'm getting goosebumps. See, this is the thing. It's not just about dieting. It's
yeah.
about what all can you do with your life
Thinking
once you
about
have,
the change, and you must be so happy. You
and
know.
you remove a limitation from someone's life. And
Hmm.
where else that limitation must have translated? What must she stopping herself from doing? Because
Yeah,
she's self-conscious, because she's
yeah,
shy, because she feels that she wants to do but she can't do.
yeah.
Little things like that. So take the step. Don't let anybody who says be happy with your body. You don't need to be. If you feel you want to change, put in the effort on a daily basis.
Right.
That itself is enough. Just that day to day, like exactly like saving money, like I say, put 10 rupees in every day. End of the day, you will see a very big difference.
Right.
So and I don't claim to be a fitness freak. Okay, I used to be. You've met me in my dancing days. I was
Yeah.
extremely thin because we danced a lot. We were active like 8 or 9 hours a day. That's
I
nowhere close to your
yeah,
average person.
yeah.
So,
Back to back, who used to have those?
but realistically, if I say, okay, I would like to be that weight again, I will have to do 9 hours of dancing a day, which is unrealistic. And I have a
Right.
business to run, and I have a child to raise, and I have a dog to take care of, and I have a household to run. So, is it practical? No.
Yeah.
How long will I keep it up?
Hmm.
Not at all, probably. Maybe a month, and then I'll be like, to hell with it. It's not worth it.
But also,
See,
you should have the stamina now. So that's another thing.
stamina can be built. That's not a problem. If I really want to do it, I'll do it. If I decide that I want to stay anymore.
Yeah.
So it's
So
important for you to find what works for your lifestyle.
yeah. So Preeti, I think your videos.
And
Can you?
is suited to how you live your life and how you want to live your life.
Yeah. So Preeti, I think your video was paused. Ah, okay. You're back. Your video
Yeah.
was paused for a bit.
So was yours. I think we got a glitch of some kind.
Yeah.
So
So tell me.
that if you
Tell
if
me.
if yeah, so your life is not like anybody else's life. Your life and mine is not identical. You may
Correct.
have 5 hours a day to exercise. I don't know. I
Right.
don't. So now what happens? Now if I don't weigh X kilos anymore and I weigh now X plus 8 kilos now, that much
Right.
I can tolerate. But if I'm doing nothing about it, I should not accept that. Yes,
Absolutely.
for my lifestyle, I need energy. I have a young child. I have to be able to be active, take her out, spend time with her, work on my business, work with my clients, have a smile on my face most of the time if I can. Enjoy some food. Food is social, in our country. You go out, you eat. So I should be
Yeah.
able to do that as well. So this is a lifestyle that I want to build, and I recommend that people realize what their lifestyle really is.
So, no. So, according to that, I mean, what is the method that you would suggest for permanent change to bring about that?
Understand who you are,
Hmm.
your body, your parameters, your goals. This is
Right.
where qualified professionals come in. Na?
Right. Right.
When you go to a homeopath, for example, and you go with a certain symptom, and you say, I have sinuses or whatever, they always sit down and they take down your history first.
Yes, they do. They do.
So I don't think anybody has fully understood why they do that. I do that too with people, actually.
They
Because
get the cause of the issue, right? They really change you from the root of the issue. So that's the
exactly,
requirement. Yeah.
exactly. So if you are serious about something and you say, okay, has been my life this long, and I don't
Hmm.
want this kind of life anymore, then invest the time, the effort, the money, and the speed bumps will also come because this is not a comfortable process. Something has
Right.
happened in the past that has led you to where you are right now. So to get
Right.
over that, like I told you about my client who was suffering from perfectionism, you might
Yes.
have had a pattern that needs to be broken to
Correct.
finally get you past the loop.
Right.
So you need a qualified professional who will look at you and say, okay, from a disassociated perspective, and say, this
Hmm.
is what I see, and these are the areas before the diet and the exercise that you first need to work on.
Yeah.
Maybe you
True.
have an all or nothing mindset. Maybe you just, what they say. It's not that diabetes and heart disease runs in your family. It's that nobody runs in your family. So, but probably you just come from a household where people don't exercise and they bring you down when you try to do it without
Right.
realizing. हाँ ठीक है ना आज वर्कआउट स्किप करते हैं चलो
कोई
कॉफी
बात
पीते
नहीं।
हैं कोई बात नहीं
Hmm.
है बेटा एक दिन चलेगा एक दिन का
Hmm.
2 दिन चलेगा नो प्रॉब्लम चलो हमको जाना है वेकेशन पे नहीं अभी ये बना है अभी खाना पड़ेगा
Right.
things like that. So there are people around you who maybe sabotage you. Maybe you sabotage yourself.
Right.
Maybe it is an actual hormonal disorder that needs to be diagnosed and fixed. So don't
Sometimes
keep.
people don't value themselves also, that they don't want to give. There's no they don't even look at themselves, that they need to value themselves and give that importance to themselves, that
And
oh
one
मेरे
thing
लिए
I tell you,
करेगा या मेरे लिए ये होगा, and they don't
and
want to do
again, at the risk of getting bashed a little bit, there are people who have decided that it is okay to be a certain way because not to body shame
that. Hmm.
or not to trigger an eating disorder, which is all correct. Of course, okay, this I'm going to say. If you have a friend who has put on weight for whatever reason, please don't be foolish and go and tell them what happened to you.
Right.
That's plain insensitive and rude. A qualified professional, maybe, quietly, personally, maybe, depending on how close this friend is, maybe. But I would
Right.
say, don't do that, please. However, if you are unwell, if you are showing symptoms such as difficulty climbing stairs, difficulty sleeping because there is weight on your chest that you can't take, difficulty sitting down and getting up, pain in joints,
Right.
hormonal disorders, periods being disrupted, skin, hair being affected, please understand that these are not things to make excuses for.
Hmm.
Because if you're
Absolutely.
unhealthy, you need to change something. And maybe 10 years down the line, it will show up as some sort of ailment, and then your doctor will fat shame you for sure and say, Jackie,
Correct.
weight lose karo. So right now you have a chance to do something about it. Find a healthy way to incorporate healthy eating and lifestyle right now while you can.
Nip
While the
it in the
going is
nip it in the bud, like they say.
I mean, make it a habit. Yeah, like I have a kid, she's 10, she's stuck at home because of the lockdown. They usually used to have so much physical exercise in school. I make it a
Right.
point. It's not about fat shaming. We don't do a lot of desserts. If she has too many, she's not allowed anymore. We don't get coke in the house. We
Right.
don't get chips in the house except unless there are friends over, then I allow her to eat whatever she wants. She has to
Right.
do some physical exercise every day. I think this is
Correct.
a healthy way to raise a kid, no? And same
Absolutely.
should apply to yourself, not just to them.
Right.
So
So what do you suggest to people who are pressed for time and want quick results? Like, what do you suggest to those people?
again, reach out to a qualified professional and ask them to help you, because why do you need quick results? If it's a competition or a wedding, I get it. But if you're just trying to, you've been like a certain shape for 20 years and now you want to lose weight in 2 weeks, that makes no sense. It didn't take you 2 weeks to put it on. It will not come off in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
Not without some very nasty consequences. So I wouldn't suggest that. But if you really have some event to take, what reason would there be to lose weight quickly? I don't know, like a contest, or it's rare that such a thing would happen. Maybe you're competing for something. Let's say you've got a
So,
sporting event or a dance contest or something like that. Then number
hmm,
one, um, get hold of help first and foremost. Don't try any stunts on your own. It is a pretty, if you're closely monitored, you
it's
could
not
show
quick
decent
thing.
results.
Mhm.
Be aware that the results may come fast, but easy come, easy go. So
Absolutely.
maintaining that may be a challenge because your body has been shocked. See, your body is like a rubber band. The longer you yank it, the quicker it goes back. So you may
Absolutely.
reduce weight very, very quick. That's why drastic, what do you call these diets,
Fat
backfire
diet.
often, because you stretch your body too much and it doesn't have time to adjust.
Hmm.
So usually stuff that you lose weight and then your body, that point where you plateau, takes a little time to adjust to the new weight. So if you were 62 and you become 60, you may get stuck at 60 for a while because your body is adjusting.
Correct.
But you move from there down. But if you go from 50, from 62 to say 58, then your body will want to swing back. And also because the diet has been restrictive, you will also want to swing back. That's when
Right.
things are a little bit messy.
So
So have
that's
someone who's
so
working with you.
many restrictions are put on your diet, then that's what happens.
Always, always, always. It's exactly the same as kids who are not allowed to read or watch any TV before an exam and then they go ballistic afterwards. It's the same thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Exactly the same thing.
So
So,
long-term benefits you're saying are possible when you have lifestyle changes and you do something at a consistent in a consistent way with the help of either an expert or you understand that what suits you or does not suit you and you just that kind of
absolutely right. Absolutely right. I mean, nobody has ever come and said, you know what, do I really need to shower every day? Can't I just shower a lot for 5 days and then I don't need to do it ever again?
yeah, exactly.
It's a maintenance process. So you have to find something that works for you and that you can continue with for a long period of time. That
Hmm.
doesn't, everybody has a balance. So it's
Right,
okay. There are people who don't like to eat a lot of food. And I give
right,
them a diet with a lot of food because I feel they need to increase their calorie intake and they resist that because that's not how they usually live. So we have to
right.
work on something that suits them. There are people who travel a lot. Those guys will have a different kind of lifestyle. And
Absolutely.
X person's diet will not work for Y person because they have completely different lifestyle. So try and consider this to be, it's like how when you tailor clothes, they always fit you well and you always look good when they're tailored. And you try to squeeze yourself into branded jeans and they don't quite fit and you don't quite feel good. That's what random diets do to you. It's not
Mhm.
really, and you don't want them. Eventually you're like, I don't wear these jeans anymore. No matter how much I spent on them, they feel nasty. So, find what works for you and get someone to tailor that program.
Right.
Invest in that. It helps.
So I've really loved all your valuable, information, comments, and all of that. So, I mean, before we leave, I would like you to give a message for our viewers, the Fearless Indians. We have viewers. So, would you
Fearless
like to
Indians, first of all, I love that title. I think it's absolutely amazing. And I
thank you
think
for that?
I think that every Indian should, and this is not a pitch, okay? This is genuine. I think we really have to stop being the kind of people who look for remedies after the thing has gone wrong. We have to
Right.
start being people who create the life we want. So I always say that uh, you know you don't look for the kind of life you want, create it.
Yeah.
So
So, be proactive.
be proactive. Be the
Right.
kind of people who are entrepreneurs. What makes you an entrepreneur? Daily meditation, daily exercise, great diet, your head unclouded, you know.
Correct.
So this is something I would like to suggest to all fearless Indians, that if you have not yet considered boosting your physical performance, whichever way, by feeding it better, by exercising better, start now. We are the foundation and the backbone of this great country. You
Yeah,
know,
this
if
is,
we are
I mean,
unhealthy,
it will be it is the first day of the rest of your life. So why not start today?
absolutely. And another thing, try and support what is local, what is grown here, what is easily available. Support
Seasonal.
it. Seasonal. Seasonal is
Yeah,
kind of random now because things are available year round, even inside the country. But
right.
don't go for, you don't need to do expensive, the quinoa and blueberries and blackberries. No, we have amazing fruit that is available here. We've got Rajgira, which is fantastic. Try
Yes,
and find you. I have a lot of information like this on my website. I'm very, very, very vocal about local, as they say.
right.
Support what we grow, support yourself and support your body to do better, and also spread that message. Be the person who goes to the beach on a Saturday morning and takes two friends with you.
Right. Pull them along.
Pull them along, and make it a thing rather than sitting and watching a movie. Do
Mm.
that. Be physically active and make it a part of your entertainment process. Make it fun,
Right. Yeah,
and make your kids do it too. They love being outside. So
absolutely.
as much as we can in this lockdown, even in the
Mm.
building, yeah, thoda sa social distancing ke saath, you can do something.
You can manage. Yes,
You can
yes.
manage. I have friends who work out with me online, so we do Zoom calls and we work out together, so
That's
that
a
we're all
possibility.
getting a
Yeah.
workout. So
Yes.
so you can do so much. Make it a social activity. That's my.
Take on
I
this.
urge my fearless Indians to please consider.
Thank you so much, Supriti, for all
My
the
pleasure.
information that you gave us. It was really, really helpful. I hope a lot of people are benefited with this. Thank you for your time, and we'll sign off here.
Thank you so much, Trishna. Thank you for having me on board.
Stay
You've been a
safe,
lovely, lovely,
stay
gracious
healthy.
host. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. See you.
Pleasure. Bye.